My name is Russ Fitzpatrick. I'm one of the founders of the AnnieMacWorks platform, and I want to give you an opportunity to write down that domain name that's at the bottom of your screen. It's called AnnieMacWorks.com. That is a great place for you to surf and do some due diligence and poke around and get to know a little bit more about AnnieMacWorks on your own. There is an entire page dedicated to loan officers and branch managers. It's called the Loan Originators page on AnnieMacWorks. You can't miss it. Top right hand side of the menu bar, just peruse that loan officer page. There's also several videos on there you can watch to get to know a little bit more about us. My job is one-dimensional here today to share with you the history and the productivity platform known as AnnieMacWorks. We started in Florida in 2009. If you remember 2009, it was a pretty stiff headwind in the mortgage and real estate business, especially in Florida. I think Florida was the tip of the spear, the center of the eye of the hurricane as far as the market crisis goes. Certainly Arizona, Southern California, and Nevada were hit very, very hard, and several other areas were hit as well. But Florida, where we started, was in the pinnacle of the crisis, and what essentially we decided to do was to approach residential real estate brokers from a perspective of partnership. And in a completely different meaning of the word partnership from what you would think of with traditional desk rentals, more traditional market service agreements, traditional lead gen platforms that are kind of common. We decided to truly lock arms with the broker owner of the real estate company and approach the industry from their perspective. That's a mouthful, guys, and I could see probably some folks rolling their eyes right about now. Yeah, sure. What do you mean by that? But I'm so proud of this platform and what we've achieved over the last 5 years. In Florida, we ramped up with 106 offices, brokerage offices, in 2009, and we essentially partnered with them, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. And we were capturing about 80 closings a month from the 106 offices partnered with us, and that really proved the economic merit of the system. And that was in what I consider to be the worst mortgage origination market in the history of the United States of America. I don't know what it was like to lend in the Great Depression, but it couldn't have been worse than 2009. All reports were that this was a working product. We never left the Sunshine State until we had proved merit. And then we went up through the Eastern Seaboard very, very rapidly. And today we're in 32 states across the United States. You might want to jot these numbers down because I'm so inspired by the last 5 years. Today we have 1,940, with almost 1,950 residential real estate brokerage partners in 31 states, a little better than 23,000 realtors. 23,000 real estate agents use this platform, and I get to show you what it's all about. So when we looked at the partnership between our company and real estate brokerages, we saw a void in pass-me-down wisdom, leadership, and culture. And what we decided to do was to put together a series of special events and professional designations that would rotate throughout the real estate brokerage's calendar year. So it wasn't a one-time sales rally that we decided to do. It was a cultural shift in the way that the brokerage was going to operate from that point forward. And once we got a yes from the broker, I don't want to say took over, but we completely engulfed ourselves in a partnership with the sales training, sales management, cultural sales philosophy of that organization. And it helped them with recruiting, it helped them with retention, it helped them with productivity. Now you can come in and write me a check for $2,000 a month as a real estate broker, but if you help me with recruitment and you help me with retention and you help me with productivity, you might get my attention above and beyond that $2,000 check you write me. So we partnered with one of the leading sales trainers in the real estate industry. This guy was listed as one of National Association of Realtors' top 25 most influential people. Floyd Wickman is a personal role model and mentor of mine. He was my first real estate trainer, and he has graduated over 350,000 people from the Floyd Wickman program. So the opportunity for us at Annie Mac Home Mortgage to sponsor Floyd Wickman into that real estate brokerage 8 times a year at no cost to the real estate brokerage is a phenomenal resource, both for recruitment. In other words, hey, come over to Century 21 Pogo and see what's going on this Wednesday. And then the realtors come over. They like the culture. They like the sales philosophy at Century 21 Pogo. And then they join Century 21 Pogo as a direct result of our partnering with them in the personal and professional development. So I hope you see that. Another individual that we partnered with is Richard Flint. Richard Flint was the keynote speaker at 16 NAR conventions. He has been the keynote speaker at every national franchise convention in America. There are only 2 national franchise companies that haven't had Richard Flint as their keynote. One of them is Sotheby's, and the other one is Keller Williams. And we know that Keller Williams has a separate, distinct culture. The reason I mention that is he's been the keynote speaker at Coldwell Banker, Prudential, Remax, Century 21, ERA, Home Life, Weichert, Realty World. So when we say that we can bring him into your office 8 times per calendar year at no cost to you, do you know what that translates into as far as perceived value from the real estate broker? The economic perception of value is enormous, because to hire Richard Flint or Floyd Wickman to come into your office to do a training one time would cost you between $3,500 and $10,000. To have them come 8 times a year is an unconscionable financial commitment from the brokerage. So you could see where we start to bring personal and professional development resources that they can't bring into themselves on their own. And that's where we get a lot of attention from our real estate partners. This DISC personality profile assessment is more than a training. It's actually an interpersonal communication set of skills. And what we found is that Angel Tucker's a best-selling author in the field of DISC personality profiling, but she also commands a great deal of respect in the Fortune 500 caliber sales forces. In other words, DISC personality profile assessments is taught at Xerox Salesforce nationally. It's taught at Lanier 3M Salesforce nationally, and it's also taught at Boeing. So essentially we said to you as a loan originator, we say to our broker partners, over 160 RE/MAX broker partners nationally, we say to that RE/MAX broker, hey, if it's good enough for Boeing, who's negotiating $700 million contracts every day, do you think it's good enough for your RE/MAX agent who's negotiating a $700,000 contract this week? And the overwhelming response, about 94.6% of the time, exactly 94.6% of the time that we say that to a RE/MAX broker, they say, yes, we would like that. And then we opened that new door with that new RE/MAX partner. And I will show you where the worm really turned in the Annie Mac Works platform. We discovered, unbeknownst to us, that real estate agents really liked the idea of coaching. That real estate agents really lit up when we said that we were going to give you a 9-week coaching program, and that coaching program was going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that when you graduated from this coaching program, that you were going to receive a certificate. Wow. Boy, howdy. I would have never in a million years thought that alone was going to transform the relationship to real estate agents in the way that it has. but 23,000 real estate agents now in the United States, 1,900 different real estate brokerage offices have responded to this message that I'm going to show you. Now, it may not resonate with you as a loan originator, and if it does, I appreciate that, but where you have to kind of suspend your disbelief and understand, put it in front of your Century 21 real estate broker partner in Keokuk, Iowa. Put it in front of your RE/MAX broker in New Hampshire or Connecticut, and let me know after that if they responded positively, because what you're going to find 94.6% of the time is they say, absolutely, please partner with our real estate brokerage. And we've had probably several hundred by now that have canceled existing MSAs in order to get with AnnieMac Works. We've had hundreds upon hundreds do that. So I'm going to share with you kind of where the pain is for the real estate broker and why 94.6% of the time they say yes. So we look at Farming Fridays as a coaching vehicle, and we say, does your real estate career have a foundation? And we point to this grid because this grid really represents the pain, the Achilles heel of the residential real estate industry as a whole. What it says is that 79% of all real estate professionals in New Hampshire, in Manchester, in Houston, in South Carolina, 79% of them make less than $40,000 a year. And that the median income of that largest group is only $18,000 a year. So if I'm a RE/MAX broker, if I'm a Century 21 broker, if I'm an ERA broker, most of the people that I manage need the most help. They create the most problems. They need the most amount of service, and they bring in the least amount of money. I was a broker personally for 13 years. I was a real estate agent before that. And I will tell you that sentence resonates with every real estate broker. There are no real estate brokers that sentence doesn't resonate with. And that 4% of the people bring home more money than the other 96% combined. What? I've heard of the 80-20 rule before, but I've never heard of the 96-4 rule. Yeah, 96% of the people make less money than the top 4% in residential real estate. So you've got some pain that your brokerages are dealing with. And what we say to that broker is, we learned how to help the 79th percentile move from the left side of the continuum to the right side. See, when we polled them, we found that the people in the 79th percentile didn't have any recurring revenue streams. They didn't have any predictable recurring revenue streams. So when you asked a 79th percenter if they had a geographic, demographic, socioeconomic farm area, they said no. And only 3% of the people in that group said that they've had a geographic, demographic, or socioeconomic farm for more than a year. Do you see that? 3% said they've had a geographic, demographic, or socioeconomic farm for more than a year. Conversely, on the 4%ers from 100,000 up, 64% said that they've had a geographic, demographic, or social farm area for more than a year. So when AnnieMac Home Mortgage noticed that void, we said, do you think that if we helped the 79th percenters with their listing skills, presentation skills, and marketing skills, that we could be more valuable to a real estate broker than a $2,500 check? Bing, 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 bing. If you don't get that, you ain't never going to get Works. Because I walk into real estate offices that are getting $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 checks. And what they do is they say, well, I would have to pay an employee $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month to do this, and they wouldn't even do as good a job. So we've had 20 of the top 50 RE/MAX brokerages in the country say, you do this for me, and I can take a back seat to some of the personal professional development issues that are plaguing my real estate professionals. We've had Keller Williams and Caldwell Banker and ERA and Century 21 Prudential. Because when you express this 9-week coaching program as one element, one very small element of a much larger works productivity platform, they are ecstatic. And you never know which one is going to excite them. But so we say to them, hey, you can invite one agent or you can invite the entire brokerage. It's up to you, but it's absolutely free for all participating works brokerages. So you get the idea. Now, remember when I said we stumbled upon, or we had this epiphany, that real estate agents really responded very dramatically to the concept of a total immersion professional designation or a ongoing coaching program or something that had multiple modules. What we learned somewhere around 2011, in the third year of doing this, we learned that real estate agents responded very, very well to multiple modules with a beginning, middle, and end. So we were effective in bringing in some other professional designations. And stay tuned because you're going to get blown away by what I'm about to show you. The Customer First Professional Designation is one of those such vehicles, and we offer this program 4 times per calendar year. AnnieMac Home Mortgage sponsors the entirety of the Customer First Professional Designation at no cost to our real estate brokerage partners. And that means that whether 60% of the office or 100% of the office participates in the professional designation known as Customer First, there's absolutely no cost to the real estate brokerage. Now, they also receive, it's not just a course, they receive letter templates, door hanger templates, postcard templates. They receive logos and insignias and workbooks. It's a very robust relationship for the real estate brokerage partners. And when I said stay tuned because you're going to get blown away, this is what I want to show you. On August, I know the dates don't match on the visual, but on August 25th, 11 days from now, we're going to be hosting our second of 4 staging designations for the calendar year 2014. So literally hundreds upon hundreds of loan officers across America are inviting real estate agents to come to the staging designation, which starts on August 25th. If a real estate agent should decide to attend and gain their real estate staging expert designation from AnnieMac Works, they're going to receive many, many benefits that are all RESPA compliant educational resources. They're going to receive the keys to a whole new kingdom of marketing materials. Remember when I said to you that if they attend the Customer First designation, they're going to receive postcards and letter templates and door hangers and logos and insignias? Well, in every designation that we do, there's a beginning, middle, and an end. And when they complete it, they receive license to use all of these marketing materials. So can you see why? Hopefully you could see this. If I pay Lou Holtz, if I pay Brian Buffini, if I pay Tony Robbins to come in to a real estate environment for a day, and they jump up and down and get them all excited and do what's called a sales rally, there's no shelf life to that because Tony Robbins needs to sell them the tapes. Brian Buffini needs to sell them their coaching program. Lou Holtz may just come on, speak, and leave. There's no shelf life. But with AnnieMac Works, we have agents that graduated from our staging program in 2009 and 10 that continue to use the AnnieMac Works co-branded marketing material into 2014. So if you don't believe that's significant, you got to get to know the top Exit Realty agents in Maryland who use it. You got to get to know the top RE/MAX agents in Florida who use it. You got to get to know the Keller Williams cult-like followers that use the staging designation. And you've got to also get to know the 860 independent real estate offices that are not affiliated with any franchise whatsoever that need these resources because they don't have a franchise to turn to. So when we give your agent an 8-page workbook, and your agent uses that 8-page workbook over and over and over again, that becomes a catalyst for top-of-mind awareness and relationship, loyalties, and appreciations from the real estate professionals. I could not be more proud, more enthusiastic, or have more conviction about anything in the mortgage business. And if you show me a tool that's more effective for converting capture rate in mortgage and real estate relationships, I will do a 180-degree turn and do that instead. Because I have yet, after 28 years in this business, to find something that got the emotional and intellectual connection with real estate agents more than this piece. So I'm going to show you one more coaching program and we'll begin to wrap up. The Shark Feeding Associate Level Accountability Program runs 4 times a year, just like the other ones. And this is something that your real estate brokerage partners, the brokers themselves, really, really love and appreciate. They like a guide on the side. It's been said the guy with the luggage is always the expert, right? The guide on the side to come into the real estate brokerage and use terminology that shifts the responsibility to the agent. That's the best way I can explain it. Because I was a real estate broker for 13 years, and the worst thing that can happen is that a real estate agent believes that I, his broker, are somehow responsible for his lack of productivity. Because then they end up going and looking for a new brokerage, right? So what these brokers like is that we come in as the guide on the side, the expert with the luggage, and we produce a 5-week coaching program that's a total immersion relationship to his real estate agents. And it's all about listings. So if I'm sitting with a broker owner and you're talking about rates, please hear me on this. You're talking about interest rates? I'm a real estate broker. You're telling me that you have great rates. You're telling me you have great service. You're telling me you have great products. Well, God, I don't know that I've ever heard that before. You mean you have great rates, great service, and great products? Wow, you're the guy for me. I never knew that your mortgage company had great rates, great products, and great services. Well, done then. I'm just going to use you from now on. No, it doesn't work that way. In 2014, there's very little differentiation in rates. There's very little differentiation in products, and there's very little differentiation in service. All of you online right now will tell me as a real estate broker that you'll answer my calls at Sunday at 9 p.m. You're all going to tell me as a real estate broker that you'll pick up the phone on Saturday morning. And you know what? Maybe that's not what's most important to me. What if you helped me and my brokerage obtain 25 listings in a 90-day period? Does that affect the market share of my facility? Does that affect the number of signs that are in the ground? Does that affect the recruitment and retention of my office? Does it make the agents in my office better? See, you can't skin the cat the same way over and over and expect to get different results. There's a new sheriff in town. And what we've done is we've been able to partner with the real estate brokerage in very, very meaningful ways. So I'm going to show you in closing the 45 different workbooks and modules that are part of the Works Productivity Platform. And just like Baskin-Robbins' 31 flavors of ice cream, we never expect that any single vehicle is going to engage every agent in the office, but we know that every agent in the office will engage with 1 or 2 of the vehicles. We have some folks that are just raving fans and they're at everything, and we have some folks that are like Boyd Granger in Maryland, for example. If you look him up, this guy went to Johns Hopkins University. He has a degree in real estate and finance, and he has a team. So he's obviously a very smart guy, but he has a team of people that he employs, so he has all of his team members go to our events, and he's been to all of them at least one time. Now, this is because he understands that education, knowledge, and expertise are going to translate into income for his team. And we've had team leaders at Keller Williams and team leaders at RE/MAX that also use these modules to motivate, inspire, and hold their agents accountable to personal and professional development. So coming soon in the 2014 calendar year, we just launched our Builder Services division known as Links, L-I-N-X. and I would love to give you a tour of links at another time. Because of a partnership that we made with Green River Capital, we are able to transfer live seller leads to your broker partners in your local market, and they eat that up like a frenzy. And because of the new partnership, we're able to launch our luxury division in 2014, whereby we will teach, train, and coach real estate agents how to enter the residential real estate marketplace above $1 million, and how they would approach those sellers a little differently than they might approach a $300,000 home, and how they might approach a $1.3 million buyer differently than they'd approach a $300,000 buyer. So you get the idea. We continue to innovate, improve. We just entered negotiations with Franklin Covey. We have a contract coming down the pike with Brian Tracy at Psychology of Selling. We've recently introduced the Vital Smarts people at the book called Crucial Conversations, and all of this is absolutely free to our real estate partners. Now, the good news for you guys in closing at the 30-minute mark of the conversation is that you don't have to know any of this stuff. If you're a loan officer or branch manager with AnnieMac Home Mortgage, we do not ask you to become expert at Works. We host breakfast events on your behalf in your real estate brokerage offices. All you have to do is MC the event. All you have to do is set up the conversation as the introduction, and we do the presentation for you. That includes one-on-one broker presentations. That includes large audience presentations. I've been invited to speak at the RE/MAX Regional meeting in Annapolis coming up in September. We will always speak on your behalf in front of large groups. We will make online presentations wherever applicable, and we will always do one-on-one broker presentations for you. There is no cost for the presentations. There is no cost to have AnnieMac Works come in and make a presentation to your brokerage partners or their entire facilities. That is part of the Works Productivity Platform, so we invite you to take advantage of that and host a breakfast event in one of your real estate brokerage partners soon. Thanks a lot for having me on and for paying attention. I know I ramble a little bit. I do have a real confidence problem with this program, so I have sometimes I get a little bit passionate. I'm just teasing you. I appreciate you putting up with me, but we'll have you back for a links presentation in the future if you want to learn about how we're working with builders and developers in a powerful way. Thanks again.